Coming up next on Access Framingham is Framingham Fan to Fan, where we talk sports in Framingham. Today we're talking with two marathon runners who want to support a local charity called Jeff's Place, a program that gives hope to grieving families. Stay tuned. It's going to be supportive, but it may run a while. This is Framingham Fan to Fan on Access Framingham TV. Hi, I'm Dave Hornfischer, a Framingham sports fan, and I'm pleased to host this interview show whose purpose is to highlight those who are involved in Framingham sports at all levels. We hope through this show to increase awareness, participation, and especially fan support of these fun sporting events, and also to help use sports to achieve our station's goal of building community. Tonight I'm pleased to talk with two runners who are running in the Boston Marathon for a charity called Jeff's Place, as well as the executive director, David Sturnburg. David,
Hi, David.
welcome to the show.
Nice to meet you.
Lisa Burgess, welcome to you.
Thank you.
Jay Miller, welcome to you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. David, why don't you start out by explaining what Jeff's Place is?
Jeff's Place is started actually as a children's bereavement center, but that's really not the correct moniker for the organization because we work with both children and families. So people don't realize that 1 out of about every 18 families will lose a parent or a sibling in America. And it's so it's a much more common statistic than people realize, and grief can take a real toll on families, both on the kids and on the parents and on the entire system. So Jeff's Place works with the families by providing free counseling and group sessions throughout the school year for about 50 families right now are attending, about 140 something individuals, and we also do individual counseling and crisis intervention. We work with the schools in Framingham when there's a passing in the community, and we basically help families overcome the large potential negative outcomes that could take place from traumatic grief.
And this program's been running for a while.
Well, I think about 8 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And it's located right in downtown Framingham.
Yeah, we're right off Union Ave, and that's our one facility. We work out of there. We've been in it for about 3-4 years. Yes.
And so what's your background? How did you become the executive director of this important operation?
I don't know, they hired me.
Okay, well,
What they were thinking, I don't know. No, well, actually,
it wasn't because you were a marathon runner.
No, absolutely not. I can promise you that. And my wife can promise it. I actually was a filmmaker for many years, had my own production company, and I sort of made a big career turn at one point, and I had a lot of clients actually who were nonprofits and it just sort of, I always had the heart for that, and they were always the clients I always worked with the most, and I learned a lot about communicating their message and et cetera from them. So when I decided to sort of move into a different area, I naturally segued into nonprofit work, and so this is Jeff's Place is my 4th position in 15 years, and I've been executive director, I've been a director of external relations, I've worked for $800 million nonprofit, and now I run a very small nonprofit because that's my preference.
Well, it sounds like it's something that can bring a lot of passion to feeling. So how does the Jeff's Place get connected to the marathon?
Actually, that's a very interesting story. Well, Framingham, because the runners go through Framingham, there's whatever the arrangement is, they get 22 bibs from the BAA for running in the marathon. And the town, what it does is each year it holds a lottery for charities in the town in which they will pick 5 that the 22 runners who get the bib numbers can run for. And that's done by a ping pong ball, an actual lottery. So Jeff's Place was very lucky to be in it this year. This is the first time we've been in it. I also understand that for the 22 running spots, there were 67 applications for those, really? So they are also chosen by lottery, and so they have to be lucky enough to be one of those winners, and then they choose some alternates, and if somebody drops out, then the alternate replaces them, hopefully not a mile 19.
And a fair number of you chose Jeff's Place.
Yes, when they pick the 22 runners, they actually have an evening where all 5 organizations sort of come tell the runners about what we do, and then the runners have a time to sort of decide which one they want to run for, but they each make their own decision, and it has to be one of those 5. So
That's great. Last year we had Hoops and Homework on the
Yeah.
show. They were, and probably, I know, I think you say you ran for them.
Yep,
Yes.
I did.
And so let's get a word or two from our runners. How did you happen to connect to the marathon and choose Jeff's Place this year?
So it's an interesting story. This is my 3rd time entering the lottery to run in the Boston Marathon, and I was not picked for the first 2 times. And it is the first time I think that Jeff's Place
yes.
got chosen to applied and got chosen to be a charity for the marathon. For me, it was a very easy decision when I found out that Jeff's Place was one of the charities, because my family has been going to Jeff's Place for 2.5 years.
Right, I think we have a picture of your family and you there
Yes.
coming up. And,
I have 4 kids, Benjamin, Abigail, Sam, and Maddie, and they lost their dad in July of 2016. And Jeff's Place has been an amazing support for us as we've tried to navigate our grief as a family. And it's been an amazing resource for us, and the people and the friendships that we've made there was never a question in my mind which charity.
So it's a
I would
great
choose.
connection between your running interest and 2 of your sons are runners, I understand.
Yes.
Both at the high school and at McAuliffe
Yes.
Charter School. So,
Yep.
so your family really is committed in so many ways to this.
Absolutely.
And Jay's my neighbor down the street, and so I never get to see you run. I was surprised when you said you were running a marathon. But, tell me about your background in this and why you connected to Jeff's Place.
So one of the, first of all, I love running marathons. It's this crazy world of taking on a marathon. And I wasn't originally going to put my name into it, but my wife, she insisted. She's like, you should do it. You loved it. You had a great time with Team Framingham, the camaraderie. So I did. And of course, I decided, I want to run another marathon.
You ran last year.
I ran 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And then I ran Philly 2 years before that.
Okay.
So, and then when they had the fair and they were talking about charities, at this point, I didn't know what charity I was going to select when I went. But when I talked to the people at Jeff's Place, this was my turn to give back to our community. And this would have been a great organization that I could have had when I was young. When I was 7 years old, I lost my aunt, uncle, and cousin in a car accident.
Oh, wow.
And our family never talked about it. And I'm like, this would have been great. So now's my chance, not just run the marathon, but bring awareness to this great organization.
Well, let's learn a little more about the organization itself. We have a short video here that the organization put together that I think will give our viewers a better understanding of what Jeff's Place is all about.
1 in 20 kids by the age of 18 will have had a parent or a sibling die. That's a big number.
After my dad died, for me it was just empty.
I felt like my life was over.
I knew when he died, having small kids, it was going to be a challenge to juggle their grief as well as mine. She lost her interest in going to school.
This is a devastating blow, but unimaginable. And I'm not equipped to deal with it as a human, never mind a mother.
I missed over a month of school and thinking bad stuff.
And I'm just glad that we were able to find such a fabulous place.
I see programs like Jeff's Place as prevention programs,
This is on DeLoss Street. right?
preventing negative health outcomes later. Because we are based in a clinical model, I think it's incredibly therapeutic.
You don't really get that at most places, like at school. Like, not many people have been what you've been, like what we've been through.
Not many kids go through this, and at a very young age, it's really traumatic.
A death of a parent or sibling is going to affect the whole family system. What Jeff's Place does ultimately for families is it normalizes that there's no right or wrong way to grieve and to figure out who they are now as a family and as individuals.
Our whole philosophy here is that grievers are the expert in their own grief, and we just want to sit with them in their journey. We can just be there to support them and to really have a space and have a place for them to really meet with other people who understand what they're going through.
It seems that people who are going through a like experience find incredible solace in sharing that experience. So I knew if I could meet other families who were going through exactly what I was going through, then there would be more meaning for them and for me. It's worked for us.
The fact that my daughter is getting a lot out of it is huge. That's enough right there. The fact that I've gotten a lot out of it too, totally icing on the cake.
It was my first place where I could be therapeutic and start to talk about it in a comfortable environment. And I mean, I was 13, 14 years old at the time, but that's exactly what I needed.
It didn't matter if I was sad, happy, that everyone there like knew how to help me through this.
We often say it's not about letting go, it's about finding new ways to hold on. And I think when you say that to the kids, that you just can see this sigh of relief.
Giving kids tools, coping strategies, building self-esteem, recognizing what their feelings are in a way that can help them with other stressors in life.
She can't relate to kids the way she used to, but now she has kids here that she can relate to, and it's helped her to open up.
I love it a lot. It's really fun. I like to do activities here.
Here, the activities have meaning to them.
And when we do art projects, they sort of incorporate the grief that we have. So we did a volcano, we did the baking powder and vinegar, and we wrote something on a slip of paper that we were angry about, and we put it in, and when it erupted, the paper, it was like we were getting all our anger out.
One of the greatest resiliency factors for kids is communication between parent and child, or caregiver and child.
Yeah, it gave us a place to talk. And even especially the ride home.
Especially in car rides home after Jeff's place, we usually like talk about it a lot then.
It was really deep and powerful in ways that they probably don't even know.
Truly, I feel like it's a partnership for myself as well as my children. Like, can you talk to my kid's therapist? Can you talk to my kid's school? Like, they are in it.
Because this isn't just a bereavement center, we're a community.
It sounds crazy that you say, oh, we have a community, a grief community. It's like it takes a village.
My camaraderie with other widows is huge part of my journey.
The friendships and the bond that I have with the women in my group, we lift each other up every single day. We have a group text going on. Anytime any one of us is having anything off, we're all there for each other.
It's helped us immensely, and we're in such a better place because of it, because of Jeff's place.
For me, it means hope for my kids to heal.
All of us are now happier than we were then because of Jeff's place.
There's not even words to describe to me how amazing Jeff's place is.
What you provide to families is a gift.
It grows here. Hope grows here for sure.
I was given a stone at the end of one of my Jeff's places, and it says hope grows here. And I keep that wherever I go. That's a really powerful thing for me.
I say at the beginning of this show that one of the reasons I'm doing this is to use sports to build community. Mm-hmm. And as I was watching that just hit me right between the eyes to why I'm doing this show. And people probably wondered why they didn't see gymnastics and gymnasts flying all over the place, or dancers and so forth. But this is what community is all about, and what you guys are doing running for this is just terrific. So thank you very much. Now let's talk a little bit about what you are sacrificing to do this. Running 26 miles is something that wouldn't be on my list of things that I want to do. My wife might accuse me of being running as a bank robber, but Lisa, tell me about your training. What does it take to run 26 miles?
Well, my training is going well. I'm about halfway through it. So my longest run so far is 16 miles. I've only run one marathon before this one, and it was Chicago in 2017. And I did it alone.
And that's where you got that nice badge from.
This is my medal from the Chicago Marathon in 2017. And I was all alone doing that marathon. This marathon, I really feel part of this team. This team Framingham is amazing. We get together every 2 weeks and we run together, and even different paces and things like that. We get together, we have team meetings, and it's really a sense of community.
I think we have a picture of one of your team meetings coming up here that we can show.
And it's an amazing, we have a Facebook group, and everybody talks to each other and inspires each other, and it's really amazing. It's an amazing experience. So.
And Jay, what's I don't think you run 26 miles around the blocks in Framingham. So.
No, not yet, not yet. My training's going very well. I feel like because I've done a couple other, I'm a little more relaxed with it, but it is so much easier with a group because you go running with people and people will send you texts that you run with, and you're just kind of checking in with each other, like, oh, how's it going? How you feeling this week? Or they mess you, how you doing? Great job last weekend. Last weekend we had a team run, and it was a brutal one. It was really cold, but we were all there, and everybody's high-fiving each other along the way and saying, oh, good job, great work. So.
And you got a nice medallion from running last year.
Yeah.
We can focus in on that a little bit. And so this is what everybody, will it be different this year?
Probably. Would you say 123?
Okay.
At the bottom.
123 years of running. Yeah, there it is. Wow. Yeah, that's impressive. So, and will you all run together as a group, or some of you are going to go flying and run there with the leaders? And
we have different paces, I think.
Yeah. We'll all kind of be in the same corral-ish, depending on when we registered, but then everybody kind of runs, their own pace and gets to the finish line.
So as to your connection with Jeff's Place, you each have a goal that you've set as to how much you want to raise, and you're asking people to pay so many dollars or so many cents per mile, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's we as a team, we each had a fundraising goal of $4,000 for any of the organizations that we're raising money for.
Okay.
I've been really fortunate to have a lot of people want to make contributions to my campaign, and I have the personal connection, and so I'm at $5,300. So I raised my goal to $7,000, and that's my new goal.
And so, if people want to find you and support you, they go to how does one find to support either Lisa or Jay here?
All 12 of us on Team Framingham that are running for Jeff's Place have a CrowdRise page, and they can find each of our links by going to the Jeff's Place website,
which is jeffsplacemetrowest.org.
Correct.
Right.
And so we have a page that says for the Team Framingham, for the runners, and on it we list the 12 runners, and they each have a link to their actual CrowdRise fundraising page. That's how they do it.
And so your group is 9 runners that are running for Jeff's Place this year?
12.
12, okay.
Yep.
And so are those people all from Framingham, or are they?
I think majority of them are from Framingham.
You want to give a shout out to a couple of the names you might remember? So I don't want to embarrass anybody by left out. But.
Tabitha Tucker.
Oh, you mean for the rest?
Yes, who are part of your team.
Sonali and Tabitha, Hillary and Lori, and I was saying women and men, and trying to keep it. It's not easy keeping 12 people straight, let me tell you. And we also have Stephen and Richard Coe and Rob Young and Stephen Clark and Sam Lahardy, and I probably forgot somebody who'll be mad at me, but I apologize. But they each, they work very hard to run this. Most of the people who are doing it, I understand, over half the people have never actually run a marathon before. So this is quite an experience. It's their opportunity to get a bib, and this is what they do. But I think they're learning that fundraising is just as hard as running.
Well, I don't know about 26 miles.
That's right. So it's so the fact that that's added to it, and they have to commit to do it. And everything they raise goes to Jeff's Place, 100%. That doesn't cover any of their costs to run or anything else. That is above and beyond what they do for us. So they really make a strong commitment.
Right. And you have some other events that you run in the course of the year. You have one coming up in March, so we got a little promo picture of that coming called Hoops for Hope.
Right, that's a 3-on-3 basketball tournament for kids in grades 1 through 12 that we run at Natick High School every year, and it's a nice event that we run.
Can
A lot
kids
of
be a part of that?
Oh, we have people from 38
these are
towns.
Teams. How does somebody participate? Do they just
They
sign
can
up,
also go to they sign up, they can go to our website, and there's a Hoops for Hope page as well. And there's links on the flyer, and they can register to do that or donate if they want to. And it's a fun afternoon where we have different grades kids, boys and girls teams, and it's all organized very well. A guy who runs basketball camps does it for us, Michael Snoddy, very nice of him.
That's great.
And it's great. And then we have a big spring gala in May. That's our largest event of the year at a country club. And then we have a memory walk for the families.
Yeah, we have a picture of that
in
I think,
October.
the memory walk here of some of the people who are involved in that.
I mean,
I think you know some of these people, right?
Yep,
Lisa,
my
you
friends,
mentioned. Yeah.
Julie and Janet.
So they're people who are in the program.
Yes.
Who had a loss. Yeah.
Well, you have to have a lot of events when your program is free.
Yeah. Oh, and the program is free for the
It's
families.
free for everybody.
And so your whole budget is covered, but do you get some state grants or some help that way? Or?
We get some grants, we get individual fundraising, we get whatever we can in events. That's really the three ways that we raise money. So they're all important, and this is a very important part of our fundraising this year.
So are some of the staff who are involved, are they volunteers? Are they some paid and some volunteers?
There are 4 people who are employees of Just Place.
Oh, okay.
And then we have some people who are independent contractors. We have a model that's sort of unique in the family bereavement field because we work with the whole family, and I think you saw in the video that we have kids as young as 3 and as old as 18 and 19. As long as there's a kid, the family comes to us. So they'll come together, spend time together, then they'll break off into smaller groups of people, and kids will meet with kids about their age, and parents will meet with parents, so they have the opportunity to sort of work with each other through whatever
really
they're
peer-to-peer.
dealing with.
Yeah,
so each of those groups is led by 2 facilitators, a volunteer and a paid clinician.
I was just impressed in the video by how much fun the kids were having in this. And
that was the other thing I was going to say.
And that volcano thing was an awesome idea.
And I would say too, in addition to the events and the support groups, there are all kinds of things like family fun night and game night and arts and crafts, and kids can get dropped off so parents can do holiday shopping, and there's just so much that they offer that's amazing for the family.
I have a very tired staff.
And one of the neat pieces I just thought about is that the runners had the option to be partnered up with a family from Jeff's Place, and I'm actually getting to know the family, and come to find out she actually works at my kid's school. I have no idea, but it's great because I'm learning so much about the program and what Jeff's Place means to that family, and it's really incredible.
Yeah, and so have you got your numbers already for the marathon? No?
Not yet.
No.
We registered.
Yeah, we registered.
So Framingham is unique. Framingham's the 6 mile mark. The 6 mile marker downtown, and downtown Framingham, I know, it always has bands and all kinds of fun, amazing things gets involved with some before or after the show entertainment sometimes, and it's a real celebration. And I think this piece of connecting programs that are local to that, I think just really adds so much to it. I think when I go down there and try and buy my hot dog now, I'm going to be looking for you. Of course, I may have to wait till 4 in the afternoon. But what time do you guys think? So do you have a time when you're running this? Do you have a set time that you try to, do you have a goal to finish in 4 hours or 6 hours or?
My goal this time is to be under 6 hours. Last time I did in 6 hours, 9 minutes.
Oh no!
And this time I'm like determined we're going to be. But my goal is to finish and to have fun. I mean, that's the greatest. Running through Framingham is the best.
Oh yeah, that would have to be.
Yeah.
And crossing in Boston though, and finishing, the exhilaration you must have at the end there must be. You've experienced it. Do you expect anything different than the Chicago Marathon or Philadelphia?
Well, I think it's going to be different. Chicago was completely flat the entire marathon.
Oh, that's no fun.
It was also very hot. My goal was 4 hours and 30 minutes, and I ran 4 hours and 27 minutes for Chicago.
Nice.
I would like to do under 5 hours, maybe 4:45 for Boston.
Well,
but-
you're a serious runner. I
but-
mean, at 4 hours, I'm not sure what the math on that is per mile, but it's a lot
like
faster than I
10.
could, huh?
It's like 10-minute
Oh,
miles,
10-minute mile?
something
Okay,
like
yeah,
that.
but 26 of them is
Yeah.
I could probably run one in 30 minutes.
But it's like, you know, it's about the experience, it's about the cause, you know, and that's like the most important thing to me.
I always like to ask athletes to close their eyes and tell me a moment in when they did a marathon that was memorable to them. One that you, when you get home or years from now, you're talking about it. Just give me a quick story of a memorable marathon moment, or even any other kind of race you were involved in.
Well, I've only run one marathon.
Right, but
Chicago was a really awesome experience and a really good sense of accomplishment because I did it all by myself, and I trained in the hot summer because it's in October all alone. But it was almost every mile of Chicago was entertainment and music, and there was one part that was so inspiring and motivating because it was all of these Marines, and they were like on the sidelines doing push-ups.
Oh, no.
And then 1, 2,
Oh,
3,
wow.
and as everybody was running by, so that was really
Jay, what about you? From last year or from another one?
I would so with Boston, my favorite moment that I could still see it crystal clear was coming over the hill in Framingham, just a little coming down to mile 6, and I could see my family on the left side. Like I could see my son, he's waving his hand, and they were so excited. So it was great to see them, and get that encouragement, and then just take off. And then the Boston's great because you see random people that you didn't know they were going to be there, and they were there cheering you on.
Even other runners, you're probably surprised
Yeah.
to see who else is running, even from either locally or somebody you know from work or whatever. So, David, what does this whole event mean to you and the program as we kind of get near wrapping up here? Maybe we'll.
Well, obviously, it's a way to connect with some people and with the community that we haven't had before, which is important because we consider ourselves a piece of the fabric of the Framingham community and the entire Metro West area, and the fact that people who live here got to know about us, more people got to know us, that's important. That's part of what we do because that's how people find out about us, mostly word of mouth.
Sure.
And through different people. As far as the fundraising, that is very helpful. As I said, we have to raise it all, so money that comes in that way
Is there
or
a
any other way is great.
specific item that you're going to use the money from the marathon for, or is it just general program support?
Yeah, well, part of our issue is that we have so many families coming to us that we do have wait lists for some of our groups. So our biggest push the last couple of years has been to find a way to serve more and more people. So and that always costs more money. So our budget has grown each year, and this will help it continue to grow, and hopefully we'll be able to serve more people than we are currently and probably start another group.
Well, that's
as a
great.
result.
I'm afraid our time is rapidly running out. I told you it would fly by so fast. Thank you so much,
Thank
David,
you,
for
David.
all of what you're doing in the program, and Lisa and Jay, thank you for putting your feet on the ground for this program, so to speak. And to all you people out there watching in Framingham, remember the website is jeffsplacemetrowest.org. Check it out, support one of these guys or one of the other runners, and come back and watch us on Access Framingham TV. We're on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 8:30, and Saturday mornings at 7:30 if you like to get up early. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and support these guys.